Yeah, 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 yeah.
For me, I look at the acts that were passed subsequent to the 9/11 terror attacks, the military authorizations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I look at that, and if I'm an evil conservative, I can look at that and twist that into a means to go ahead and prosecute
Oh
these
yeah,
people.
of course you can, but that has to be proven in court. You know
After
what
how
I mean?
long?
What do you mean? You have to go to court and you have to convince a jury that this person deserves to go to jail for however many years because they're a member of this so-called terrorist organization. That
Right.
I don't think they've had
But how long
any
but
luck
how long
getting
can
that
in
approved though.
well that's what I'm saying about how long can them people be held up while all that gets sorted out?
I
And
mean,
where?
it depends on the charge. That's the
I
thing.
mean,
You'd have to
I
put a
mean,
charge
okay.
on them.
So,
To like,
so if next week it turns out that these people were sent off to Gitmo after they got taken off the streets of Portland, would that surprise you?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but that doesn't mean it's like a rational charge that will
Uh,
stick.
No,
Like,
I wouldn't put money on any of this stuff cutting any kind of
no, I mean,
constitutional
that's what I've been
mustard.
saying all along. Like, as soon as this, like, after Trump's Rose Garden speech where he gassed everybody to go to the church, like,
Right.
that's what I said. That's what made me start seriously entertaining the possibility of actually voting for Biden. You know, was like
Mhm.
being scared that they were going to like round up everybody in DSA and send us to, gulag somewhere.
I wouldn't. Really, you're saying
Yeah,
it like that, but I mean, it's true.
no,
And,
that's why I said it because it was
you
true,
know,
because it was accurate.
And no, but I mean, look, when it comes to these kinds of people, we both come from a legal background. You could stretch legal meanings into doing exactly what you wanted to do
Yeah, but for certain things, it's like, but the prospects of holding American citizens arrested in
without.
America
I
with
mean, there's
no
a history in the country about
grounds.
suspending habeas corpus as well.
Yeah, but like I said, like is that a legal battle? I think Trump's attorneys can win right now, and I don't think it is. Like
No,
I
I don't
think,
think they could win that long term, but I think short term they can abuse it.
oh yeah, no, they can terrorize people as much as they want, and they're going to
So,
do that in
so
Portland, and they're going to do it to Chicago if they get their way. You
no,
know, like
I'm sure they are.
like
You
as
know,
terrible as Ted Wheeler is in Portland, like he's a fucking saint compared to Lori. Like Lori Lightfoot is horrible. She's basically a cop herself. Like her job, she was the Rahm Emanuel's like puppet in charge of the police accountability board, or I forget what it's called, the police something or other. But was not a civilian review board. It was like a you know people in the mayor's administration appointed people to review instances of police misconduct. And
hmm
you can see from her behavior then, and since she's taken over as mayor, that she is 100% a
here,
cop. Like she is
hmm
more of a cop than Kamala Harris. That's for sure.
right. Well, okay, so here's where I'm going with it already. I'm already kind of going ahead with this kind of thing. Is I'm looking at the Supreme Court and I'm looking at um, is there enough votes on the Supreme Court to go ahead and let Trump carry on with how far he wants to go?
I mean, I don't think it would make it to the Supreme Court. Like the instance of arresting somebody and detaining them indefinitely for supposedly belonging to Antifa.
Yes,
That's the charge. So like
yes.
graffiti, maybe assault. There's not been any
No, but
murders
you
committed
know you
by
can,
left-wing
but
protesters. There's
I
not
mean
been any kind of
you could
violent
use these
crime.
anti-terror acts to go ahead and make
Yeah,
that
but the
leap.
anti-terror acts, they have some bones in them because there's murders they can tie to the organizations. There's war crimes, 9/11, for instance, or killing soldiers in the Middle East. That stuff you can implicate the larger group. There's
But
not like a foundational instance of, it's not like if it was like Timothy McVeigh's group, for instance, and you
right.
caught some other members of his group, you could implicate them in the proceedings saying like they were doing this, and because they had this They were plotting this activity, and because they had murdered this many people in the past, we had a reasonable
I mean,
suspicion that they were planning
I think
murder.
that
You know,
I don't think the language in those defense against terror acts are that narrow to where you can rule any of those things out
yeah, but
without
those
having some kind of.
that's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
you have to have you have to have some kind of ruling from a court that's gonna shoot that kind of stuff down, even down the line. And I mean, with between the judges that Trump appointed and RBG kind of being on her deathbed, I mean, it's kind
I
of
don't think
harrowing
it
right
would
now at that
make
point.
it past the federal court in Oregon. That's what, at this point. But
Mhm.
like, I don't think that's not to say that they won't configure it so that it does. Like, I don't think it's.
Right.
I wouldn't put it past them to murder people and blame Antifa, or
No, no,
do
and
whatever.
that's also a
Release some sort of
possibility.
manifesto or some crazy shit to make it look like the left is violent. Like,
Right.
I
I mean,
wouldn't put it past them to do that.
yeah,
But as of this
yeah.
moment, there's not enough to do
But I
more than
mean,
just
there's a
detain.
thing that
Oh,
I mean, I think there's enough in those acts to go ahead and say that they're these people are tied to some kind of global terrorist network, right? So
you
so
can't say
say
that. I mean,
so okay, so Antifa is global, for example, right?
I mean, I'm sure there's different groups that call themselves Antifa around the world, but there's not
Right.
like a. It's not like
So remember,
DSA where we have chapters in different
no,
countries. You know
no. But of course, Antifa is a movement. It's not supposed to be an organization. So
exactly,
there's part of people part of that Antifa movement all over the world, and
which is
some
why
people
Trump's
act
dumb to single them out. He should have
right.
picked
So,
a group that was actually a group. You know,
right. But okay, so think
fucking
about it
idiot.
like this. So there's people that call themselves Antifa that have acted out violently in other places, much more violently than here, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if there's been any kind of violent like felonies. Like there's been
Even
like the Andy No
international,
thing. Like
even
he claims they
internationally.
threw a cement. I mean, I don't know what people are doing internationally, but if left wing
So
radicals were murdering people, I think we'd know about it.